Hey everybody, this is Brandon Ford and welcome to the Blind Rage Podcast. I am very pleased to announce that I have a brand new co-host this time around. Have Tim Turner from the UK. He is the host of the Posthuman Podcast. Tim, thanks very much for joining me for this commentary.
Thank you very much for having me on, Brandon. It's a pleasure speaking to you as per usual.
Definitely. Yep. Tim and me have been getting to know each other a lot.
Quite a lot.
Over the course of these past weeks, through a lot of Facebook Messenger, as well as Tim was kind enough to have me on as a guest on the Posthuman Podcast. And our episode ran for 2:15, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was about 2:09 after the mild editing.
Yeah.
I try not to edit, but occasionally, my audio doesn't go successfully with Zoom. So shout out to Zoom.
It was a good time. We covered a lot of ground. It was a very broad range of subjects, and I very much enjoyed it.
Well, I think it's how the conversation got flown a lot more, because we spoke a lot about slasher films and a lot of horrors. We touched upon, pretty much all subjects of horrors. Ghost, supernatural films, paranormal films.
Yeah, we also touched on some conspiracy theories and the Bible. I think we definitely covered a lot of ground. So,
yeah, this seems to be a reoccurring pattern at the minute. With the Bible. It's coming up a lot. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my plugs out of the way because I tend to forget. So I like to do it right at the beginning.
It's okay.
And then we will talk to Tim a little bit more about the Posthuman Podcast, and we will get into our movie, which is 1988, the 1988 Frank Henenlotter cult classic, Brain Damage. But before we do that, I would like to encourage everybody to check out my books in Kindle and paperback editions by going to Amazon.com or the Amazon app on your smartphone, typing in Brandon Ford. You'll find my titles as well as my Amazon author page. Don't forget to follow me there. You'll get email alerts whenever I have a new release. If you prefer audiobooks, you can check out my stuff on audible.com as well as the Audible app by typing in Brandon Ford. If you don't, please follow me on Instagram at writer Brandon Ford, on Facebook, Twitter at Brandon Ford, and on Letterboxd at Brandon Ford. Do you have any social media links you want to plug?
Well, this is why I don't normally plug them on my own show, because it's I have to remember them all. But luckily, it gets tricky when you have to go the Twitter and the Instagram. But luckily, they're all under the same umbrella at the moment. If you just type in the Posthuman Podcast, and that's pretty much it, apart from my Twitter, which is Posthuman Tim, because they don't allow X amount of characters. But yeah, pretty much anywhere. Even if you want to come on my own show, people, shoot me an email, posthumanpodcast@gmail.com. It's a pretty open show. If you want to come on, feel free.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, too. Also, I would like to encourage you to rate, review, and subscribe. It only takes a second to just give a star rating to the podcast. It definitely helps with the algorithms and gets me more exposure. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, suggestions, recommendations, feel free to email me directly at blindragepod81@gmail.com. And I think that is all she wrote.
Should we get into it?
Well, first, before we get into the movie, tell us a little bit more about the Posthuman Podcast. What gave you that idea to get started with that?
Well, the idea, well, I do quite a lot of random crap. Let's put it easy. I'm very spontaneous at times. And this was kind of one of the things that I did spontaneously, but unfortunately, like all my other spontaneous ideas, it stuck. I started doing stuff on VR. I didn't really have the confidence to begin with, to just go and do normal podcasting. So I did some stuff on VR to begin with. Did a couple of solo shows. Then since then, just completely been booking in. That's the easiest way to put it. It's a loose.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure you tell everybody where they can find your podcast, because you're doing videos now, right? So are you on YouTube?
I am in the process at the minute. You can subscribe to me and wait for them all to drop.
There you go.
It's an editing process at the minute. I'm trying to upgrade my software, and video editing is pretty fun. Let's put it that way, especially when you've pre-converted all your files to a format which your video software doesn't recognize. So I've had to convert everything back, edit it, and then reconvert it, if that makes sense.
No, this is all Greek to me.
Yeah, it's a very long way of putting it.
I have no idea about any of this stuff.
Yeah, at the minute it's taking me about 4 or 5 hours of video, and when you're 30 in, before you've got X amount that you know, it's a lot of process. I'm a one-man team. I do all my own social media, do all my own shows. I have to set everything up, editing, posting. So, you know, it's tricky to sit there for, well, you know, like my longest show has been 4 hours. To edit that video
that was your marathon show.
It's going to take, I don't think that's going to be the longest yet. It's been the longest singular guest.
You might have to split these up.
Yeah, the next one I might have to split into 2 parts, but it's almost a shame to do so. There's something in the works. That's all I can say. It's something planned, and I'd suspect it's probably going to be maybe about 4 hours ish.
But as far as the audio goes, what podcasting platforms can everybody find your show?
Oh, you can find me on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts. There's not many other hosting platforms I'm on, just because.
You're on Apple.
Yeah, I need to get onto iOS.
You're there. That's where I found you. You're on.
Oh, I am? Mm-hmm. Didn't know that. That's crazy.
Well, there you go.
I'd love to know those stats, because they're hidden somewhere. Like, I don't get them.
Yeah, I do my show through Anchor too, and
I know you can put your RSS feed into there, but I haven't got mine, so
yeah,
strange.
Well, I had to. Well, if you send them a message on Facebook Messenger, they'll respond to you pretty quickly, and they're pretty nice and helpful. They have been, at least with me, but as far as, because I wanted my, I think Stitcher is one of the biggest podcasting platforms right now. So I wanted to get mine on there. And so I added it to a handful of other podcast streaming platforms, in addition to those which Anchor already assigns your show to.
Yep. I think there's Overcast's one as well, isn't it?
Overcast.
They work alongside Apple.
Yeah. But Anchor they're not very accurate, at least from what they told me as of yet, with getting a good count as far as your plays are concerned. So when you see how many plays your shows have gotten, or you check on the app how many plays an episode has gotten, it doesn't necessarily mean that's how many. It's more than likely more. It's just that Anchor doesn't have the technology as of
yet. No, that makes sense. They can't process all of these different RSS feeds, which is gaining all those statistics and numbers over essentially. I mean, some people are on like 12, 15 platforms.
Yeah.
One of my only issues with with certain hosting sites is they can't physically host my time. It would cost me a fortune.
Oh, really?
Yep. If I was looking at, I think Overcast was one of them. No, sorry, I'm not looking at Overcast. Buzzsprout, there's a few like that. And their basic plans is like 4 hours a month or some stupid, ridiculous number. And obviously I can do that in a show.
Yeah.
I tried uploading them all to, it was Buzzsprout, and it just had none of it. I think I could upload my first 5 episodes on their basic, and then the rest was just, it was just dead. I couldn't do anything with them. And I think to get it to where it was, I calculated it, and it'd be something like $120 or something like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Excuse me. The last month I did 26 hours, and their maximum plan only went up to 15. So I'm already 11 over, and then you have to pay for their storage, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
If there was some that had unlimited amounts of storage, I'd pay for it happily just to get the analytics back correctly. But at the minute, it's a lot of money, especially if you want to go on 2 or 3 and.
Well, I mean, at the time, you can just, I don't know if everybody can hear that, but my neighbors are being total fucking jerk-offs. And it seems like their sole mission tonight is to ruin my show.
I had dogs.
No. I would rather dogs. I have, when I record with James a lot, his dogs are off. He has 3 dogs, and they're oftentimes clamoring for attention. And one of them is a basset hound, and he's always kind of crying a little bit. Kind of cute, but
Yeah, it's not. It's cute, but it's not annoying.
So yeah, all this technical stuff about podcasting, I'm sure, is putting people to sleep, because I don't think I understand this stuff. So
No.
If you are ready, we can get into the movie.
Yep.
So we're going to begin with a 3, 2, 1 count, and then we're going to start on play. If you are watching with us, make sure you have your movie queued up and ready to go. I think this is on Prime. It's more than likely on YouTube. It's on Tubi, but there's ads, so you'll have to pause it.
I know you can get it on a subscription Prime channel somewhere.
Yeah.
I think. And you can get that for free for 30 days. I'm sure it's on like Shudder or something like that.
Yeah. But if not, there's always YouTube too. So a lot of the time, the stuff that I end up doing commentaries for shows up on there. So.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get started. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. All right, so we have the opening titles here. We didn't even get a distributor logo. We just get right into it.
Yeah.
So Tim is a lot younger than me.
Say a lot. Very, very loose.
Tim is 10 years younger than me, which makes me feel fucking ancient. So I'm willing to bet that when you first saw this movie, it was not on VHS.
The first time I saw this, it was a bootleg copy.
And it was VHS?
No. Crazily enough, it was online. I think I think I randomly came across it in a way back when, like LimeWire days.
Yeah. I remember those days. Even with DSL, downloading a whole movie from LimeWire took forever.
But I guess you would have had this on VHS.
I didn't have this on VHS. This was actually one of the last Frank Henenlotter movies that I saw in his filmography, because it wasn't that easy to find. But and then because this up until he had a 13-year break. But yeah, I saw this in like the early aughts. I want to say around 03 or 04. And
might have been about the same time.
I rented it on VHS from Hollywood Video, and the Hollywood Video chain came, and it didn't stay very long. They were in and out of business within about 5 years, but in the horror section, they had a lot of obscure stuff that they obviously bought from other video stores.
Yeah.
And they had this, the old, I think it was Media Home Entertainment VHS, the cut version.
Their freak out always entertains me, and then it cuts to a bathtub.
Yeah, we're about to see Beverly Bonner, who's in all of Frank's movies. The black lady who answers the door. She was Your silence is making me think you don't know who she is.
No, I'm just letting you continue.
Well, she was in she had a primary role in Basket Case, and then she has cameos in all of Frank's movies, but she's about to answer the door in a few seconds, and the couple is going to ask her if they could look in her bathroom.
It's weird, isn't it, how they have like the same actors for these certain films?
Well, he's friends with her, so
just as you'd think they'd have gave her a bit more of a leading role than a cameo.
I guess.
Do you know? I don't get why they was ever looking in the cupboard. Considering lives in water, that's why I found it such a weird emotional freak out, because they're looking through the bookshelves and he's after water. We all know that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Wet and warm. Interpret that however you like, especially with Elmer being a very phallic symbol, intentionally so.
Yeah, I'll say, well, we get to that bit eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, I have the Blu-ray, I think it's from the Arrow, and I was watching the behind the scenes stuff, and the scene that's about to come up where the couple is foaming at the mouth, it was very difficult for some of the crew, in particular Gabe Bartalos, who did a lot of the special effects, and another crew member, not to laugh.
Well, I mean, even these scenes, it's pretty...
I know, it's very over the top.
It's cheesy.
Yeah, but I think that's Frank's...
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's known for. But yeah, getting back to the first time I saw this, I didn't see it uncut until I got the DVD from Netflix through the mail way back in those days.
Yeah, that was so strange how Netflix started as a DVD lending service.
Well, you still can get DVDs and Blu-rays through the
mail. No, I couldn't even believe that. Someone told me that the other week, that they still do that.
Well, I heard that people still do that because you can get certain movies before they're available for streaming that way.
And the bonus content.
There's Beverly Bonner right there.
Oh, yeah. Look at how gaunt he looks. It amazes me how fast it happens to them. Obviously, but they've been, Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Well, it doesn't matter. We don't. I really don't.
Oh, well, you know.
Without spoilers. I just assume that people who are listening to the commentary have probably seen the movie already. But yeah, the couple is going through withdrawal because of they're not getting the juice from Elmer.
That's why I thought it was. That's what I don't understand. They start frothing at the mouth now, but then it doesn't kill them straight away. So what were they doing in the meantime? Because he was pissing around for days.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, weeks. So, but then they were still. I don't know.
Oh, well, I don't even know. I don't know what the time span was. How
strange
long it had been. But supposedly, when Frank wrote this, he was getting off cocaine. So
that makes sense.
That helped inspire the script. And
yeah, that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the scenes of Rick Hurst's character, Brian. This is the scene where everybody couldn't keep it together. Because it was an overhead shot, and Frank was like basically on the ceiling, and they were doing 16-hour days, and nobody wanted to do this again. So they were trying very hard not to laugh, and my neighbors were trying very hard to piss me off with their big fucking mouths.
It's a good job they didn't try the Kubrick 50 in terms of takes.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. A lot of these low-budget horror movies, it's 3 and that's it.
Yeah. You can't really go.
Get it in 3, you're done.
The budget's not there just for production hours.
I was listening to a commentary for Herschel Gordon Lewis movie Blood Feast, and I don't remember what the word was, but there was an actor who couldn't say a word, and it's it's
I think I've heard the story.
It's not a
vaguely.
It's not a very complicated word. He kept putting an L in it or something, and Herschel gave him 3 takes, and he fucked it up every time. So he was like, "All right, that's it," and it ended up in the movie.
Yeah, I think I know that. I think there's a spoof of it as well. I think it was like famously taken the piss out of.
Are you talking about Blood Diner?
Don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'd always heard that Blood Diner was supposed to be a sequel, but I don't think they could get the rights. But it's a very similar story to Blood Feast in that they are trying to resurrect an Egyptian goddess and put her together with pieces from different women, and it's 2 brothers who run a restaurant. But yeah, and then there was Blood Feast 2, which was Herschel's first movie directing in several decades, and then they did the remake, which he had nothing to do with, in 2016 with Robert Russler and Caroline Williams.
This is always a cool scene, where the water starts flowing in, and obviously, for me, I'm a huge advocate of scenes like this. I remember watching it. I have watched this pretty high at points, so it's a very good one to watch if you've taken mushrooms.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never done any psychedelics.
Yeah, no, I have. That's another reason why I like sort of films like this that have a weird undertones and vibrant, trippy scenes.
I've experimented very, very little with drugs because I don't like not being in control.
Yeah. No, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody at all. I don't advocate drugs.
That's why I never drink, or I don't drink at all anymore. But when I did drink, all I drank was beer. I never drank hard liquor.
Yeah, I don't really drink hard liquor anymore either. Again, I'm a lot older now. This is all past tense.
But you're still very young.
Oh yeah. If you say so. How much grey do you have? It's
I don't even know.
Pretty quick.
I don't even know.
I'm sure I've probably got more than you. Trust me. I'm aging horribly at the minute. I'm aging worse than the couple.
Oh.
No, I'm not that bad. I'm not that gaunt. I'm not that bad yet.
Well, for years there has been a lot of speculation as to why Brian has the cut on his lower lip.
Yeah, that's another weird fun fact.
Yeah, and I've even heard people make stories up about how there was a subplot in which Brian and his brother had a fight the night before.
Yeah.
And it was cut from the movie, but nope. The whole reason he has that cut on his lip is Frank thought he was too pretty and he wanted to give him a flaw.
See, I've only heard the fisticuffs story.
Yeah.
Again, I've not been able to listen to some of the commentaries that you sent me yet, just because of time constraints.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing it's in there.
Well, that's actually in the behind the scenes that's on the Blu-ray. But yeah, that's it. It was just he thought that Rick Hurst was too attractive. So he wanted to give him a little something. And I can't remember the actor who plays his brother, but I always thought that they looked similar.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, they looked similar enough so that they really could be brothers.
They almost look, well, he looks a bit like a young Johnny Depp as well. In a way. You know, with a hairstyle and
the fair skin, maybe.
Yeah. Just some of not all of the features, but it's always what he reminded me of. And then more so his brother, you know?
Sure, about to see Elmer.
Yeah, this is a cool bit where it's like sliding around him. It's a cool prop. I bet it was like strangely hard to make.
Well, Gabe, and that's Zachary doing the voice.
Yeah.
Who I don't know if he's credited anymore, or if they inserted his credit into the later editions of the movie, but in the earlier versions, they couldn't because this wasn't a union film. So Zachary would have gotten in trouble. So Frank does a very good impression of Zachary, so he put his name down as being the voice of Elmer. But
see, that's a fun fact. I didn't know that either.
And because of the whole debacle with SAG and Zachary not being able to be credited, Frank invited him back for Frankenhooker. He played the weatherman. But but the prop, yeah. Gabe Bartalos made the prop. He did the effects. This was the first movie that he did the effects for Frank on, and he ended up doing the effects for all of his movies after the fact. And they remain friends.
Did he do the same special effects for Basket Case? I thought that was
no,
somebody else.
Not the first one.
No, I thought so. I thought it was for the second and the third.
Yeah, the second and the third, and Frankenhooker. But no, Gabe was a little too young. He was only 19 when they did this one.
That's super young.
Yeah, but he worked on a movie called Spookies, and I think Frank must have seen it, and he wanted him on board, and one of the producers said, he's only a kid, right? And Frank said, well, that's what I want. I want a young guy. I want a fresh approach.
Fresher mind. And
Yeah, and Gabe was very happy to be on board because he was a big fan of Basket Case. So this was like a dream job for him.
Well, a lot of the special effects were changing as well, and I wouldn't like to assume, but I'd imagine that stuff was made in certain ways, and certain producers and directors would want fresher minds because of fresher ideas and ways to produce and make things rather than the old school props and
Yeah.
like puppets and stuff. Really,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's got to be some animatronics in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it is. Frank was not shy about admitting that he explicitly told them, "I want this thing to look like as much like a big black dick as possible." So it's no accident that this looks very much like a penis. And Gabe even said, as he was putting it together and he was adding veins and crevices, he, thought to himself, God, this is looking more and more like a penis. And then when he made the head a little more bulbous, there you have Elmer.
Didn't know that. I need to listen to that commentary. I'm guessing that's in there as well.
I think so.
It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, excuse me. See, it's funny how he's always trying to hit on her. Always. He knew the score. Taking her out for dinner, and
then they went to the concert because Brian was sick.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where that whole the speculation about them getting into a fight stemmed from people like just piecing together,
assuming that there was already banging.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
Mm-hmm.
These people that make up these theories have to have a backstory to it.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because so there were some members of the crew from Basket Case on this, and there was also some members of the crew from Street Trash, and there was another gritty movie that was based in New York that dealt with it was like another body horror film that was around this time
in New York.
Yeah, I know it was Street Trash and it was something else, but yeah, they according to Gabe, the members of the Basket Case crew only lasted a week. He didn't go into specifics, but they couldn't hang for whatever reason. According to Frank, though, some of them were a little bit uptight when they were making that movie because of the scene in which Belial is essentially raping the girl who is Dwayne's love interest, and he had the special effects people drizzle blood on her, and they were so offended by that they walked out the door.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't really blame them on set.
It's I don't know. It didn't really offend me, but I mean, it's just blood, fake stage blood being dripped on a pair of boobs. I mean, and you don't really even see Belial rape her. It's implied.
That's what I was going to say. It's all implied, but obviously he left it to your imagination to think of the rest. They
were just offended by the blood, and he said, if you want to walk out the door, walk out the door, and while you're walking, go fuck yourself.
Wow. That's the thing with producers. They have the final say.
Yeah.
It's their shit. I always love this scene. The car window just keeps changing colours. For the time, it was pretty well put together for their visual scenes of what Brian was going through when he was on the juice. Because they could have made it way more crazy and out the box. But they just made it a little subtle. And I don't know.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
I really think my neighbors are like killing each other.
That genuinely sounds like they are.
All right. Well, this will make for an even more interesting commentary. I hope they do kill each other.
During a horror podcast.
Yeah.
They're killing each other while we're watching someone be killed, which is fucked up. You can almost... It's crazy. I can put those screams to that guy.
Now I heard a bottle.
Huh. Wow.
I've never heard them like this before, honestly.
Maybe they was building up to it.
Well, I think this is probably alcohol induced.
Yeah, I don't get how people can get like that on liquor. Makes no sense to me.
No, I was a happy drunk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get drunk. I can just drink and it's all good. But when I get to that level, I just go sleepy and it's night.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'll just ride on that happiness till I get tired and then, you know, it's nights. But they're really going for it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting to listen back to.
Do you know if you did some crazy shit that they show you in the movies where they analyze stuff and they take the sound out, or they can enhance like images, which is total bullshit. The way that they do it in films anyway. I bet you could isolate that sound. And you'd know everything they're saying.
Maybe. I do remember it wasn't that long ago that there's a guy, he doesn't live there, but it's a girl who lives there with her daughter. It's like 3 or 4, which is great that she's being exposed to this. But they had a pretty raucous fight because from what I could hear, and I could hear a lot from where I am. I don't even have to go up to the window.
Yeah.
The windows are closed, believe it or not. But yeah, she accused him of stealing money, and he just went crazy and was screaming at the top of his voice.
Yeah, I could imagine how that conversation went and ended. Yeah. For women out there that are in shitty relationships like that, you want to get the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I can put to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and he definitely sounded like he'd had a few that night too. So.
Yeah, well, that's probably why I needed more money.
Well, there you go.
It goes full circle, that shit. That's alcoholism at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
The way I see it, if you can't drink or do drugs and you can't afford it, it's probably best not to.
Probably.
It's the best advice ever. So, here's one thing that I do love about this film.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. They've even got that fine little detail of them in the background, but they look a little bit different, look. In the picture frame. You ever notice that?
I don't remember. I'm just listening to it because I can't.
No, that's true.
Can't see the screen. But no, I don't remember. There's one scene in particular that I really, really do. I really wish I could see.
Which one? The main one?
No, the shower scene at the Y with Joe Gonzalez.
I know the one you mean. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
Tim doesn't
all
play
right.
for my team, so he doesn't appreciate the male form as much as I do.
No, I can appreciate it. There's a big difference. That is the big difference. Is people that fucking look after themselves. It's a big thing.
Yeah, he's like fucking ridiculously jacked.
It's ridiculously jacked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone for ridiculous. It's
Well, I mean ridiculous in the best possible way. I like this part here.
yeah, where he starts going crazy and just splashing the fuck out of everything.
Yeah.
It's funny how they're just totally just talking shit about him as well,
Yeah,
and he's high as a kite.
they don't quite understand, but how could they? I mean, I don't what could they possibly be thinking is wrong with him?
I like this scene as well, where he starts to see the brains.
I think this scene is ADR'd because his voice sounds like it's now it
What do you mean?
sounds natural. Like maybe it wasn't recorded properly, so he had to go into the booth and do it over.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But now it sounds okay because I could hear the echo. But before it sounded like it was in a booth.
Some rough, some rough editing.
Oh god, they came back out.
Oh no. Well, that's all right, because during that, my partner's just got up, just to.
Oh,
It's all right. Again, my son's not up for a while yet. But obviously, she has to get up early for work. So,
hmm.
and women take some ages to get
Not
ready.
really, but
No, it's a misconception. Some women just take next to nothing to get ready.
oh, is that right?
Yeah, it probably takes me longer than her.
Oh, well, yeah. You got to
Yeah.
crimp and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I have a workout and have a shave and, piss around for half hour.
Have a wank,
So-
as the English say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit early for that. That'd be you over that bath scene, no?
Oh, the shower scene, yeah. If I could see it,
Well, you could visually remember
I can. I do. I have my memories.
it.
I have my memories.
Do you remember this bit with the brains
Um,
pulsating and
I'm not
almost
sure.
wheezing at him?
Oh, I
They do
do.
wheeze.
Yes, I do remember this part.
That little, and then start getting obviously breathing heftier and
Yeah,
starting to go through the withdrawals himself.
yeah. I don't know where the hell I put my water.
Water?
So, yeah, I had a bottle of water.
Yeah, I'd lost mine a minute ago. Did have a glass, but Brrr. A breeze coming through that door. I probably shouldn't have been dressed for the tropics today.
Oh,
I've been in shorts and an actual flowery shirt all night.
oh.
Like, so it's been a bit nippy overnight.
Well, don't you get about 3 hours of summer in total over there?
3 hours of summer.
Yeah, per
Roughly.
year.
Yeah, that's about right. It is about three and a quarter per annum.
Mm.
Occasionally we do get some sun, but then we just. I've found the thing with global warming lately is we've got a lot of wind.
Mm.
That's all I can account for. 3 years of wind. Never known so much wind in my entire life. Which we don't get sun. We just get, like I say, we get the sun and then a whole lot of wind followed by a shit ton of rain.
Yeah.
Love this scene as well. Is going crazy next to the hobo in the alley.
Yeah, and they were saying about finding this guy. I think he actually was homeless, and they said he smelled really bad. But because they filmed a lot in the actual New York City streets without permits, by the way, they did with Frankenhooker.
Yeah, I know they did a lot of
Yeah, just run and gun type thing. Get the shot and pile in the van and hurry it along.
Gonzo style.
Gonzo, exactly. Or guerrilla.
Gorilla. Sorry, is the better word.
But they said that they would often find used condoms and crack vials on the streets that they would have to avoid while going to set up a shot. And what was really funny while they were making Frankenhooker is if they were filming a scene near I'm trying to remember exactly what the situation was, but a lot of the time they would come across drug addicted prostitutes who had fallen asleep in a doorway, and Frank would have to wake them up and say, "It's morning, time to go home."
Wow. It's crazy when they show these weird grunge scenes from back in the day as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were so strange. Just how everyone was dressed, like the dude with the eye patch, and then there's the guy with a weird slick back forward dreadlock. Not dreadlock, it's a fucking devil lock, sorry.
Yeah, in the 80s, there was punk, and then there was new wave.
Yeah, I don't know what this would be classed as.
I think this is probably punk.
Yeah, I don't know. Could probably be. Maybe for back in the day. Reminds me of the Damned. I think they tried to copy the Damned a little bit, maybe. If I can remember the song rightly in my head. I'm listening without audio, by the way. Yeah. So I probably could have had it miles away, but or earbutted it, but it's all good. I play it all in my head. I'm actually quite impressed how good my lip reading skills have been. Considering
you don't have the audio on at all?
No. Why is that really shocking?
Because I thought you were listening to it on your headphones.
No, that's just you. No. I could have done put another jack in, but
yeah, that's what I thought you were doing.
No. Again, like I say, my film. I'm pretty good with films. So if I've seen it a few times, I'm pretty good at remembering bits. And that's why I said my lip reading skills have been pretty on par. But then again, my knowledge of it.
Where is my voice coming out of?
My headphones.
So you do have headphones in?
Yeah, I've got them on, but obviously I can't hear. I could just hear you.
You could turn up the volume on the movie.
Nah, because it will capture you. Don't worry, trust me.
It will?
Yeah, trust me, I know what I'm doing. If I'd have set it up a different way, it'd have been okay. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're halfway there, man. I wouldn't stress.
But I wanted you to enjoy the movie.
Oh, no, I am. But still, I'm enjoying this conversation.
Fair enough. I'm
multitasker.
We're about to get to the most infamous scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the most influence. Sorry, I was wondering why that spade was there then. Such a random prop.
See, because you're not listening to the movie, you're noticing a lot more stuff.
Well, that's the other thing, is I'm so used to seeing films. Sorry, I put that in a different sense. You're so used to just watching them that sometimes, and I mean that in terms of listening in as well, that you don't really take everything in because you're either watching it and then listening to, a little bit of the audio and focusing on something else, or vice versa. So it's good to actually watch it with no sound and talk about it, because it's the first time I've done anything like this. So it's pretty cool. And I know, and all the audio I pretty much know anyway, because I've seen it dozens of times. And then I tend to notice more more of the visual stuff, which probably isn't great for this scene, you know. But
So when was the last time you went to a seedy club and had a girl like that pull you out into the alley?
well,
I wasn't expecting you to answer.
yeah, no, you're right. This is your show, not mine.
No, I mean, I thought you were going to say, that's
I wouldn't say
information.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say seedy club, but been some adventurous outdoor moments. Don't worry, I'm allowed to talk about that because they've been with my current partner.
Yeah.
So I'm not compromising myself there.
Right. Fair enough.
Not that foolish.
I have done, well, I don't know if I can really count it as outdoors, but I've done stuff in cars in my youth.
Yeah, it depends on
in
the
my
car.
early 20s. But I always wanted to, not because of the whole exhibitionist thing. I wouldn't call myself an exhibitionist at all, but I have always been curious about having a bit of a dalliance outdoors. Seems nice.
Well, it depends on the time of year and the place.
Yeah.
And the moment as well. Sometimes just spur of the moment things are the best.
Yeah.
But, they're the most fun.
Just
like him right now.
Yeah. There's not a lot of woods or anything here.
I don't know about the woods. That gets pretty creepy. I could tell you a story about a true story about the woods.
Please.
Yeah. Again, even now, it was with my current partner. We had sex in the woods once, and we almost had sex in the woods once.
Okay.
But then we heard some rustling. This is a true story. And then, obviously, I thought it was an animal. And then we seen a taller person, and then we come out of the bush, and there was a guy then legging down, because it was just on the clearing of the woods. So he'd come out then the side, and boom, seen him run into another set of bushes and stuff. Yeah, I tried hunting that motherfucker down for about 15 minutes. Very fun.
So he was
to try and hunt him down. Yeah, it was a legit pervert.
himself.
Yeah, probably. It was a pervert. It's probably a good job I didn't catch him. More to the point. But it's a true story. I wouldn't have expected it. It was pretty late as well. It was 3 a.m. But there he was, in some little clearing in some woods. Who'd have ever thought it? Strange, but a true story. A snippet just for your show there.
Yeah. I thought you were going to tell me that you rolled over on a dead body or something.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. I haven't rolled on. Oh, no. Jeez, that would be a fucking story. Wow. That'd be crazy. I was watching a show this evening called Murder Mountain. It was about a lot, the cannabis industry when it got legalized in the States. And all the people that went disappearing around the mountains where they was growing it. And that was pretty creepy. So when you talk about the woods and all this, I could almost imagine it. See, here they come for the first time. Why don't they steal it off him then? Look, they're looking a little bit more haggard, but why don't they steal it off him now?
This scene is when the older guy, I can't remember the name of his character, but he gives the whole
the backstory.
The backstory of Elmer, and Frank isn't much of a history person, so I don't remember who wrote this monologue.
See, it is a strange monologue where he goes down through history.
Yeah.
I've never really looked into that, whether it's some truth or...
I don't think so. But I think Elmer is... Well, Belial is it means someone evil.
Hmm.
Um, and I never had I'd always wanted to have a dog, and that hasn't happened. But for years, I used to be like, when I get a dog, I want to name him Belial. And then I figured out what Belial meant, and I said, oh, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, probably not. Especially if you end up with an evil dog.
And he's talking about in 1699. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
see, I was going to do. There we go. Again, this is a rarity that I can do because I'm not on camera, so I can actually pull stuff up. I don't know. Doesn't really say a lot.
It always kind of annoys me when people call him Elmer, as in Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, it's an Aylmer, isn't it?
Aylmer, yeah.
Yeah. What's the... Can't even think of the best way to put it. Without it sounding like it's just some fan fiction. Someone's probably made fan fiction of this.
Oh, I'm sure. Speaking of which, there's a novelization of this.
Yeah,
that
no history at all.
Well, yeah, I didn't think it. No. But yeah, there's a novelization of this that's on Kindle. There was a it's written by Bob Martin. And
Is there anything different in it?
I don't know. I haven't read it.
Is there that's the thing? Would the audiobook just be the same?
No, it's not on audiobook. I wish it was.
Yeah. See, that's the only thing. Would it just translate the exact same story?
Well, if it's a novelization, then yeah. But if it was a novel first, that's different. It's a different story.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that this would have been an original tale. I think
no.
This was probably made from one man's head.
Well,
on a lot of drugs.
Before Frank did, have you seen Bad Biology?
Bad Biology? I don't think I have. I think you've caught me on that one. You've caught me on a few.
That was Frank's comeback movie from 2006. And yeah, before that, there was a lot of talk about him doing a movie called Sick in the Head. And I'm not exactly 100% sure what happened with that. I don't know why it fell through. But he did Bad Biology instead. And he turned Sick in the Head into a novella. And that's on Amazon. But the writer is credited as Dwayne Bradley.
Oh. That's strange.
Well, he was giving a nod to Basket Case.
Well, using your pseudonym as a character, it's kind of genius. I just noticed that his brother had a key around his neck as well. That was another weird little prop. And a key on a chain.
Speaking of Basket Case, did we get to the scene where they were on the subway?
No, not yet. I'd have called it. It's when he leaves the motel, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, because he is a mess. I think he's a mess.
Yeah, but when Frank wanted Kevin to have a cameo in the movie with the band.
Yeah.
And but when he showed up to set, he had a crew cut.
Oh.
So he had to wear a wig.
Huh.
And it was a bitch to find the same basket. The same thing happened with I believe with part 2. I don't know why, but nobody kept the basket from the first movie.
Do you know what doesn't make any sense with that movie? He's like Belial's a killing machine, but he's in a wicker basket with a padlock.
Yeah, yeah, and the padlock is really going to stop him. But but and you wouldn't think that it would be so difficult to find a wicker basket like that, but it was quite hard.
I wonder why. It's just like a big linen basket, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like a maybe picnic basket more so in America.
Well, no, it's a little. I think it's a little too big to be a picnic basket.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
for laundry, yeah. My mother used to have a wicker basket for laundry, but it was round and it didn't have a lid. But yeah, basket case was so low budget that they had to get what they could get where they could get it, and
Well, the stop claymation was bad enough.
yeah,
You know, that was that seals the deal to the modern days.
And that scene when Belial is hiding in the toilet, that's actually that's actually a toilet they found in the garbage.
In the garbage.
They found it in the garbage and used it as a prop in the movie. They built that little room as a bathroom and put the toilet in there.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, they drove around. They drove around and looked in at trash outside people's houses and dumpsters for props for the movie, and that's how they found a lot of that stuff.
Well, I mean, it's amazing what you can find in the trash.
Mm.
You know, what people throw away nowadays is bonkers. Like, have you ever been to like a proper trash yard?
No.
Yeah. You can get TVs there, you can get anything there. If you want it, it's at the trash.
I'd be too afraid to bring anything home from somebody's garbage because of bed bugs.
What about on a TV?
They get into electronics.
Do they?
Yeah.
Huh. Shit. Do you know the one thing, I mean, you mentioned about dogs. Obviously, I've got cats, and in the summer, they occasionally get fleas, which is a pain in the arse. So, at the minute, we're having to de-flea them, because I've got attacked yesterday. Fun fact. Completely unrelatable to this film.
So they're indoor, outdoor.
Oh, they're outdoor.
Oh.
So they're on it. I wonder how much makeup they had to put under his eyes for that. Obviously, with his little transformation, and they make him look more messier.
I think this is
a lot of makeup. Yeah.
Oh God, this one makes me cringe.
And yeah, it kind of does up until it like comes blood like bellowing out of his ear, like the blood.
Just this part here.
Yeah, this bit's like
when he starts slowly pulling stuff out.
Yeah,
that's fucking cringe. But when everything comes flying out, that's a little more comical. But they talk about how they did that in the the behind the scenes. It was like oh God. I gotta talk.
It's like that is a clown's handkerchief, isn't it? It's a clown's handkerchief. I can see the knots. I've just seen one. I swear, I've just seen a knot.
That right there, that was what do you call it? Overlap. I forget what the proper term is, but it's the one strip of film on top of another. So so he was on this this rig that put him on a slant, and so the camera was on a slant too. And then in the other the other strip of film, the effects people poured like this bucket of like tomato sauce and
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
all kinds of stuff, and they wanted to do it on a slant because they wanted it to jut out, and the only way they could get that effect was to just pour it down. So that's why they had to put it on a slant. So it looks like it's shooting out of his ear, but it's really just, being poured.
No, that makes sense. It's like the Nightmare on Elm Street 1 scene.
Yeah.
The bed scene. But that's fantastic. But obviously that was all filmed like upside down.
Upside down. And it
in
almost
reverse
killed a
as well, I
bunch of
think.
people.
Yeah, yes. Well, it did. It literally almost set fire to the place, didn't it?
Yeah,
Flood
it
it.
almost, a lot of people almost got electrocuted, including Wes Craven.
Flooded the place with all that fake blood and almost, it pulled some of the rigging down and some lights and
Yeah.
just a revolving set.
I hate when people say, that's impossible because the human body doesn't have that much blood. And it's like, who fucking cares? It looks awesome.
Yeah, well, the Nightmare on Elm Street scene's probably very overdone in terms of blood quantity.
Yeah, but like I said,
But it is fun.
It looks awesome.
Oh yeah, visually it's absolutely amazing.
I don't even remember. Did you see the remake? I don't even remember if they did that. I would assume it would be all CGI if they did.
Yeah, I've seen the remake, but I don't think they did. The dream sequences were nowhere near as good. I remember that much.
No, yeah, I remember they were all CGI stuff.
It's how they ruin it now. CGI.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the filmmakers who are trying to stay true to the genre are doing practical effects, and I think, Frank has used CGI in his later films. He used it in He used it in Bad Biology, but he only used it to cover up like wires that were in the scene, like shadows that shouldn't be there. I think that's really the only reason it should be used, not to create an entire effect, because it just phony,
creating an entire world with two or three props in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
that are mostly green screen themselves. It's the only reason that films take much more longer, just because of the digital side of it.
Yeah,
so complex, it's ridiculous. But it takes a lot of those authenticity out, because you know it's fake.
Yeah.
I mean, we know this is fake, but when you see him pulling shit out of his ear, and it probably was a clown's handkerchief, to some people who are watching it as well and aren't just taking the visual in.
I don't know. I don't know what that was, because I was probably, when I could actually see the screen, I was probably always watching it through squinted eyes, because anything with ears, or going into ears, or coming out of ears, or going up your nose,
It's a good little theory to make you think that they made it that gory and maybe added some little bits to make you squint and not go, oh yeah, what is that? Because if it is gory, you're not gonna if there's different types of gore, isn't there? If it's like someone's arms just got chopped off, you're like, whoa. But if it's like someone pulling something out of their ear or losing a nail, it's a bit more. Your face tends to wince. It doesn't go into that shock face.
Yeah.
So
I meant to ask you before we got started. Have you seen any horror movies lately? Anything new or old that you like?
Well, I can't really say I've watched many horrors lately. About the closest was, I think we even spoke about it, was on my show, was Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's probably about as close as I've got. Horror. In fact, no. There was a film that I got that was recommended. I got recommended. There was a film that did get recommended to me as well. But again, it all come through the Joe Rogan podcast. And it was made by the guy from Police Academy who did the Bobcat Goldthwait. And he made a Sasquatch film.
Oh.
And that was like kind of cool, like a Bigfoot film, and that was really good. But that was kind of horror-ish. But that's about the closest I've maybe seen lately. I can't remember what it was called. It was called.
I hear his voice. I know he's there.
Yeah, it's.
Fucking look at him.
But the film.
Look at him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to gay it up a little bit here.
No. It's okay.
His body is sick, though. Come on.
The film's called Willow Creek.
Willow Creek. I think that's on Tubi.
Yeah, Willow Creek. It's a good film. It's about the only film where you go, that's believable. It's almost a bit like The Blair Witch.
Oh.
Like it's shot like a man and a woman, well, the couple go camping, and obviously they hear the noises and shit like that, and get a bit lost, and it's kind of cool.
I wanted to say about this scene real quick. For Rick Hurst, to make him look more sickly, they painted fake zits all over his body. If you could see him.
Yeah. What did they do that with? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because that's what I was saying. There's a lot of makeup. I said it earlier on during his transformation. They use a lot of, a lot more makeup, and they get heavier and heavier with stuff.
Yeah, and I think they probably made his body more pale.
I was joking earlier about him not being that jacked. The dude is super jacked, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculously jacked.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
About half an hour later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I do remember the rear view fondly. Yeah, I'm used to having gay co-hosts who to talk about this stuff with.
No, that's okay. That's not a problem.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that Frank is gay.
In real life?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I don't know. He's not. I don't think he's married.
There's a lot of gay undertones to his films.
There is, yeah, especially this one. But then you look at Frankenhooker and it's all titties.
Maybe that was the cover-up.
Maybe.
Never know.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe the dude just could have been like pansexual or some shit. Maybe it just didn't matter.
Maybe
he was having sex scenes making sex scenes with Belial and doing all these other weird things. Who could have just been a bit freaky in the bedroom.
I heard that. I heard it from someone who supposedly worked on one of his movies, and it might have been Bad Biology. This was a while ago, and I don't even remember who he was. It was somebody on Facebook, and I don't think he was a very reliable source. But yeah, that's where I'd first heard it. But if you think about it too, there's scenes in Basket Case that were the basement scene where the father gets cut in half. That basement was the basement of the Hellfire Club, which was a gay S&M club in New York. And
was it?
Yeah, I think it's still there. I don't even know. But you can see glory holes in the walls if you look closely. But it just, it makes me wonder. It's like, why would Frank know about a place like this?
Yeah, it's like that seedy club in the middle of this. It's almost like a hookup bar, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just that was just a bar where people get fucked up on drugs and then do whatever.
Well, that was the 80s. Well, and the 70s, and the 60s, and the 90s. To be honest,
the 90s not so much. The 90s was the age of safe sex.
Yeah, but there's a lot of it just because of the ecstasy fueling the market and everyone feeling loved up. The
Well, I
rave
don't.
scene was very
Yeah, there was that, but people, the 80s was, I think, when people were in a panic because they really didn't know all that much about AIDS and how it was contracted.
yeah.
But then the 90s came along and we were a lot more educated, so safe sex was heavily encouraged, and people were,
Yeah, no, makes
people were
sense.
a little more cautious.
That makes sense. See, here he goes, look, making his sly moves.
Mm.
We was waiting for it.
Is there some boob in here?
No, I was just, I was just waiting for the callback. But no, this is weird, look, 'cause he's in the opposite room and he's just really docile and so it's a weird moment. Obviously, he keeps hearing like the reverberation, doesn't he?
Yeah, that is weird.
Obviously, it's another strange scene. It's very intimate, the camera angles and
Yeah. Well, this is a very strange movie as a whole, which is why I like it.
a lot of blue lighting as well.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of blue. You can, excuse me, sorry. You can tell the way he lights his scenes to the the way he wants to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck me, man. Why am I sounding like a fucking an expert on this subject now? Makes a bit of sense, though. For a sex scene, I'd use blue. Seems a little bit more cooler than that heat of the passion red.
I don't know. I'd want fluorescence so you can see every fucking thing.
What, like UV?
Yeah.
UV and a bunch of glow paint.
There you go.
Yeah, you can't. See, here it comes. Look now, like the echoes and the. Then he, I think it just cuts to black as well, doesn't it? Doesn't even. Pretty sure that doesn't even explain anything after that. It just cuts to black, and then he's gone again in the morning. If memory recalls me correct, anyway.
This scene is going on a little too long, and I think it might have been. It might have been because of the movie. The original cut of the movie ran short. It was only 66 minutes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That isn't long at all. You could have put that on the TV at the time as a miniseries, essentially, just in 2 half-an-hour runs.
Oh, I don't think anybody would play. I've never even seen a Frankenhooker movie on TV. Well, I saw Frankenhooker on cable, but it was the censored version.
Oh, yeah, that's 'cause it's cable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't. I mean, we had it like as kids when even then there wasn't many channels. I think there was about 40-ish that we got. But the only one that we did get had, obviously, I think we spoke about it, had the TCM and it had the Freddy's Nightmares on it after.
Yeah.
But that was the only real horror that we got. Apart from that, it was just like in that day and age, obviously, it was then VHS. And then, obviously, shit copies of stuff.
So you're talking about like the 90s? Early?
Would be the late 90s.
So you didn't even have the Sci-Fi Channel?
Nope. No.
Well, not that it was really anything. I mean, they didn't really play anything all that great.
Mostly just the X-Files.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a lot.
This is always a cool scene. He starts ripping her brain out.
Oh.
That's shredding her to pieces. I thought it ended in a black, but it wasn't. It was him going crazy in his head. And then telling them he's going to leave. And then I think this is the basket case scene, maybe. Because I don't even think that's showed up yet. I think I got my wires crossed.
No, I think I would have heard the train.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think I got my wires crossed thinking they did it after the hotel bit. But I don't think it is. I think it's this next scene after he leaves here. And then goes back into town, so to speak. Making his threats that he is they're not safe. And that he can't control himself. See, I don't need the volume. But you know what's crazy is like they're all in. He just walks in on them and they're in bed, and then he's like completely soulless.
Yeah,
Which is crazy. That shows how fucked up he is, though, in a way.
yeah.
You know, like complete emotions are out of the window. All he cares about is the juice.
But yeah, but he's also telling them that he doesn't want Elmer to go after them next. So this was also kind of a warning, you know, that he's leaving and to stay away.
Yeah, well,
That was a weird line. That was a weird line. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
One
no.
brain's as good as the next.
Yeah, I mean, even now, obviously, she gets killed. I think the only person that doesn't is the brother. I can't remember.
I don't think so.
No, she does, because he goes to kill her on the train, doesn't? Obviously, he tries coming out of his mouth.
Oh, the brother. I don't think gets killed.
No. But yeah, this is the scene. And the old basket.
Yeah. Which was weird that they decided to do this because...
Maybe it was just because it was not as well known. Wanted to get it a little bit more.
No, by this time it became a midnight movie.
Oh, sorry, I meant the other way around, because this wouldn't be as well known. So it'd be like a nod to there for you to go, oh, it's made by the same guy. Because it's, you know, super out there.
Was this a Video No, this was after Video Nasties, wasn't it? This was 88, and that was 80. That stopped at 87.
A little bit, yeah.
I would assume Basket Case was a Video Nasty.
I don't even think it was. I know it was I think it was a pre-cert. I don't think it got certified for a while. There was could have been by then. Yeah, because there was quite a lot of horror films like this that didn't even get certifications at points, especially the old horrors.
So that's like the equivalent of unrated.
Yeah, they didn't get certified.
And is that legal?
Well, there was no such thing for one point. I think it was only when A Clockwork Orange came out that they upped the standards because of all the violence. So that they brought in, I think then they brought more certifications in. I could be wrong. Something did it, but one of the films topped it for them to bring in certifications. I think it was different for cinemas and home movies as well. And again, from the country, you was filming and producing, you know, because a lot of the old Italian films didn't have certs because they wasn't. Well, it's not that they weren't registered or anything like that, but there was made. There you go. There's a scene. It looks so weird. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I could be a little bit wrong. I did have a lot of knowledge on it at one point, but it's
so you had like Argento and Fulci and Bava and all that
yeah
stuff without certification. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff you could just get, and like it'd just be in the Italian sort of format.
Oh. Yeah, because you guys have the same, right? It's the same PAL format.
Yeah, it would have been for VHS.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
because your VHS players were different than ours.
but I think um, the DVDs, that was all of those when they come in there, they had certifications.
Yeah.
I remember owning some of the DVDs as well that had been uncertified. The Beyond was a pre-cert, I think, and I remember having that before it was. So this is again one of those scenes where she gets a comeuppance and.
I had to get the British import of Creepshow because you guys got a special edition that was 2 discs and it had a commentary track with George Romero and a
It did.
making of. We didn't get that here. We just got the DVD and the Blu-ray were just the trailer. I mean, that's it. We didn't get a commentary or anything.
That's so strange. They only do that to the UK.
Yeah. And it was Universal released it. Here it's Warner Brothers.
I wonder if it's something to do with like Technicolor.
I think Warner Brothers over there releases Friday the 13th. It does the Friday the 13th movies, right?
I don't know. I thought that was Paramount.
Well, it's Paramount here.
I mean, they're sort of now owned by, well, it's sort of now owned by Disney. Even way back when, Disney bought Paramount out donkeys ago. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe for some of the films, when the rights would have slipped over and, you know, I don't know. I don't know much about the Warner Brothers. I know they own a lot.
Yeah.
They own a lot of stuff that you wouldn't even think about them owning.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I used to look for stuff on eBay a lot, and I would come across English imports of certain VHSs way back in the day, and yeah, they would have a totally different distributor.
Yeah, I think one of the main ones we have over here is Technicolor. I used to, do you know, like they do all the colouring for films,
Right.
and they do a lot of distribution. I used to work for like one of their warehouse companies, and it was the only reason that I knew that they did so much. I didn't realise. Like, I went in to just do some warehouse work, and I was like, "What do you mean you distribute all this shit? Like, just endless amounts of DVDs and old shit. You could buy stuff as well from them, which was cool. You get it cheap, which was pretty good. The end of the month.
Did you get any of those Vipco DVDs?
Yeah, the Vipco Vault. Yeah, there was a collection.
Yeah, they were all the video nasties, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying to begin with. When they bought like the Beyond and stuff in, they were part of that Vipco Vault. I couldn't remember what it was called now. I'm glad you said it was Vipco.
And you got the Mutilator uncut before we did.
Yep, I think the Burn-In came in there as well.
I think so, yep.
Even then, I'll have to do a quick Google. Yep, the Toolbox Murders was in there. House by the Cemetery. Didn't even realise it's still distributed. Grindhouse database. Nice.
Ah.
I've seen years ago that you can buy like there's like the action figures, but they're made from a random company, and they'll make really obscure things from films.
Mm-hmm.
And they do They do a lot of cult films like that where they'll just do like a random person from it.
Well, so, you got to get the officially licensed stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the like company. It's so strange.
They have I don't know if I think it might be NECA. But
That was the one I was trying to think of the other day. Cannibal Ferox.
oh yeah, it was Umberto Lenzi. I couldn't watch any of those cannibal movies because of the animal violence.
Yeah, that's something else I'd spoke about. I was trying to remember. Obviously, they was like animal snuff films, essentially.
Yeah, Cannibal Ferox. That's on Tubi with all that stuff.
Blimey, I'd forgot about a lot of these ones.
You like the Toolbox Murders?
Yeah, it's certainly better than the remake.
Oh no, yeah, the remix.
The remake's rubbish.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I
like
wanted
when
to
they-
like it, but it's not good.
Yeah, I wanted to like it. It's when they did like another kind of remake. Do you know the one with Kane? That's See No Evil, whatever it was.
I
That was,
saw it. I
A
saw
bit
it,
along them lines.
but I don't remember anything other than it was awful.
And that it was Kane. Great wrestler. Not so much as a actor. Blimey, some of these I completely forgot about. Yeah, I think it's a shame because you can't really get these much no more.
Well, the Arrow, you guys have the Arrow, and they've been putting out a lot of really good stuff on Blu-ray. I have gotten some British imports of some of their stuff because the Arrow releases some stuff over here, but some of the other ones are UK exclusives. And you guys also have 88 Films, which have been releasing a lot of good stuff on Blu-ray. They have a whole slasher collection.
Yeah, lately I've just gone off DVDs. It's good to have them, but they just take up a lot of room, especially with collections. And I had like a video collection, and that went missing. Blimey, that's Kane in my eyes. After not having much sleep, then comes that insane strobe. I forgot about that. Yeah, for those people out there that have epilepsy, this is probably one you might want to avoid. The flashing back in the day was crazy. I think that was the main one, but it does get a bit more worse near the end. Spoiler alert. See, he's got his brain bit out now, and it amazes me how he comes back for more as well.
I forgot that there isn't a whole lot of dialogue for the last quarter of the movie.
Oh yeah.
There's been barely anything since he left the apartment with the brother and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just been action.
Maybe they killed all their dialogue with the Elmer's backstory. Yeah, this is
Yeah, I thought that whole backstory was a bit. It was a bit unnecessary, and it was a bit long, and it was a bit unrealistic for him to be, spouting that all off in an alley.
Going through the ages as well.
Yeah, it was literally a history lesson in an alley.
By a crazed man.
Exactly.
Going through withdrawals.
Who wants his dildo back?
Sorry, I had to just turn to face the screen for a second. But again, I know the ending. It's but I know it's also going to probably blind me for the rest of the day.
Mm.
Yeah, between that and the creeping sunlight coming through the window, I do feel like a vampire. I always found that weird bulb in, like, obviously there's a big bulge in his head, which is always, like, such a weird thing, and then it just explodes.
Mm.
Like, with just a bunch of light. I never really understood all this light deal. Like,
Well, I think it's a lot to do with Elmer being luminescent with all of the juice stuff.
Mm.
Like when they had that close up, which was I think a really really cool practical effect when he inserted it into the hole, and you saw the juice.
oh yeah, lighting up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was that today. That would have been all CGI.
Oh yeah, that'd have been. They would have gone all out on
It
that.
would have been cartoony as fuck.
Yeah, they've definitely been cartoony. Well, there we have it.
There we are. That was brain damage.
I know, it's a super fun film, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a short one as well, so it's an easy watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely goes by fast. Is this your favorite of Frank's movies?
Yeah, no, probably one of the basket cases. I'd have to go for one of those, really. It's definitely up there as one of my favourites. I don't know, basket case is sometimes a little bit more fun, but I enjoy this just because it is what it is. It's a cult film.
Yeah.
Cult classic.
Mm.
Not many people have watched it.
No.
Surprisingly. It's another one that slips through the nets.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, and
a shame.
I prefer stuff that's out there like this. You know, that goes against the grain with filmmaking.
Oh yeah, it still goes against the grain now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, my favorite Henenlotter will always be Frankenhooker. That
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Yeah, that is what solidified me as a Henenlotter fan. I think Basket Case 2 is okay. 3's not very good.
Yeah, the third one does let it down. It's more, like I say, the first starts as as more of a horror, but then you come to the third and it's, you know...
Yeah, you get the little babies
comedy
and stuff.
yeah. It is essentially more of a comedy. I will have to shoot though, because it's I've got like 20 minutes till my partner has to go to work.
Oh.
Which I'm terribly sorry about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my guest is cutting out before the end of the closing credits. That's all right. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining me. This was definitely a lot of fun.
Well, obviously, I've still got to sort this audio out later, but if you want to intermission it at the credits now, and then later on, do like a half an hour after talk.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Well, no, we'd just repeat the same thing again, just for half an hour. If it weren't for the my partner having to go to work, I'd be totally on it, but obviously I've got to play father now.
No, that's all right. Yeah, you got Dane is expecting you, so and the credits are just about done anyway, so we can wrap it up. Do you have any final thoughts on the movie?
Final thoughts. If I was to give it a rating, I would give it out of 5. I'd give it a 3.9, which is
that's very specific.
It's very specific. I don't know why people don't use decimal points and second numbers.
Yeah.
I'd say also that if you're a huge fan of cult films and you haven't watched this, to watch it, you're certainly going to get something and take away something from it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I think if you're a fan of cult films, you should be watching all of Frank
Oh,
Henenlotter's
yeah.
library for sure.
They're all definitely on the category of cult classics.
Yep, absolutely. Too bad he isn't appreciated as much as he should be. It's only
No,
guys like
this
you
is,
and me who know who he is.
yeah, I mean, I shout stuff out occasionally. It's just, again, it's a cult thing, so only certain people would know it.
Right.
But then it's good to pass it on to other people,
Mm,
and I hope that they'll do the same.
yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that wraps it up. I want to say thanks again for joining me, Tim.
No,
It
many
was
thanks
a
for having
lot
me
of
on. It's
fun.
it has been a lot of fun. This has been the first sort of commentary I've done alongside something,
Well,
so it's
yeah,
been
I'd
different.
love to have you back. This wasn't
No, absolutely.
a one-off.
No,
You're
by all
welcome.
means.
You're welcome
Next
back.
time we'll have to plan it a little bit earlier,
Yeah,
and that way we can run it through a bit more for you.
yeah.
So I have to apologise there.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem. All right. Well, thanks to everybody for listening. And until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.